guys, welcome to a new video, and if you don't know me, my name is Crystal, and today we're going to be talking about propaganda I will be falling for and propaganda I will not be falling for. Also, I have a list, so if I'm looking down it's because it's on my phone. And so yeah, let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about are propaganda I will not be falling for, and number one on my list is daily routines does not equal put together. I feel like since the dawn of YouTube's creation, we've had a lot of videos talking about morning routines, night routines, waking up at 5 a.m. to like become a billionaire, like those type of videos. And I feel like they're so ingenuine. There's actually like no person in this world that does these things every single day. Honestly, I'm a victim of this. I have tried so hard throughout my adolescence to follow these daily routines and they never really ever stick. I think daily routines are good because they kind of have a overarching idea of what you want to do for the day, but it also causes people to be anxious whenever they don't hit those goals. It also contributes to why people feel so empty, because following different people's daily routines kind of make you stray away from your gut feelings and what you want to do for that day, because you're following someone else's routine completely. We as individuals naturally have our own routines and have things that we like to do. For example, some people like working out in the morning, some people like working out in the evening, some people like working out whenever they feel like it. So daily routines don't always mean that you have everything put together. Another propaganda I will not be falling for is massive hauls. Again, this is back to prime YouTube, the height of YouTube. Hauls, like $2,000 hauls, $1,000 hauls, back to school hauls. They're so unnecessary. It's summertime right now and I can't tell you the amount of summer videos that are always titled "My essentials for so and so, enter a country's name." These trends ultimately contribute to consumerist culture. We all know these products aren't good. When someone has 10 lip products, you can't even get through any of them because they'll be expired by the time that you use it. Now, I'm not saying to be minimalist if that's not your thing. And I'm not saying not to buy something if you want to. I'm just saying that if you have 5 water bottles from the same brand, why do you need a 6th one, right? Really think about it. There is no way that you're using not even one of those products fully. So why would you buy 10 billion other ones? Going along with the consumer's mindset, the next propaganda I will not be falling for is tops being more than $30 and bottoms being more than $50. There is no reason why one outfit has to be over $50, honestly. Especially with the quality of clothes, like there's no reasoning for you being more than $50. Again, it's because of the consumer's mindset. A new thing trends, every company makes new products, or a lot of companies are rushing to make the next best thing. Also, the trends are constantly changing. By the time that you have that new skirt that is trending everywhere, by the time that you get to wear it, actually wear it, the trend's already gone. There's no point in buying it when you're just gonna be wasting money. Another thing I have on the list is essential items. I did mention previously in the massive hauls, there's always videos on TikTok and YouTube being like, must have Amazon purchases, must have things for the summer, must have things for college. Everyone is so different. We all have different priorities in life. If you're a girly who doesn't really cook at home, why would you get a whole set of Smeg? If you're a girly who doesn't like coffee, why are you buying an espresso machine? If you are a girly who does not read, why do you keep buying books? We don't always need to have the same starter packs. And on top of that, I just want to add on to essentials the videos that talk about products that change their skin game or products that change their hair game. There have been so many times that I bought a product thinking that it would do one thing and it never works. That's because we're all different. I think it's so easy to fall victim whenever you see thousands of influencers with your goal, like skin, hair, body, and they give you this product to fix all your issues. But then you have to remember that these people are hand selected by companies to show what the outcome of their product would be. If a company is claiming to make your skin beautiful, they wouldn't exactly hire someone who doesn't have perfect skin. It speaks more about the product whenever we see it being used consecutively and actually seeing a difference in the person's skin or appearance, etc. Another propaganda I will not be falling for is lining up for things. I live in New York City where there's always a new thing that's opening. There's lines all down the block, and honestly, there's no reason for there to be a 3-hour line to get a matcha. There's this new place that opened called I'm Donut, and it's from Japan, and they serve mochi textured donut. That is my place. But as soon as I heard that the grand opening had like a 3-hour wait, there was no way that I'm gonna be there. I waited a bit, let the hype die down, and my friend and I were walking by Times Square to get to this other location, and we decided, you know what? Let's go. We got online. There was like a pretty substantial line, but it was moving pretty fast. So we got there within 5 minutes, 2 minutes. It was moving really fast, so that I would do. If there's a huge demand for this item and I'm just being there to not feel FOMO, I can wait. I'll tell you this, most of the time these places never stay open. They always close down after, whenever people forget about that product or something new with a similar concept opens up. It's honestly so hard to not feel FOMO, but you have to remember that these concepts are not new and there's always going to be something to replace it. So if you miss it the first time, you'll always get it another time. The last propaganda that I will not be falling for is protein. And you know what? I feel kind of hypocritical saying this, but I was a victim of the protein hype, and I used to drink those Fairlife protein shakes. I forced myself to eat a bunch of meat just to hit my protein goals. Honestly, why are we forcing ourselves to eat foods that we don't want to eat? This is just toxic diet culture, and I feel like it's just so much easier to just have a balanced diet and eat what your body is telling you than to force yourself to eat 2 huge chicken breasts and yogurt on the side and then cottage cheese in your pancakes, like all these things. I think we are human, and there are going to be days where you're going to eat a carb diet, and that's okay. The next day you can eat a healthier diet. I think everything is just in moderation, and I believe social media has contributed to us being so disconnected with our own thoughts and our own belief, honestly. Alright, so I've gone on and on about propaganda I will not be falling for. Let's talk about more positive things and talk about propaganda I will be falling for. Number 1 on the list, matcha. People are always talking bad about matcha, talking about how it tastes like grass. You know what? That's good for you. Me personally, I love matcha and I will continue drinking matcha. I will not be paying for matcha if it's over $7 though. Maybe as a treat, but love my matcha. I've been a fan since 2019 and I will continue loving matcha. Going with the matcha epidemic, people are always talking about sweet treats and how they're negative. I think you should get the sweet treat, and honestly that might be a hot take, but I don't care. I think we should find ways to always celebrate ourselves and celebrate our accomplishments and just getting through the day. There is no reason that you need to restrict yourself from things that you want to do, obviously without any harm, but I think having a sweet treat here and there, honestly even every day, is a fine thing to do. I think knowing yourself and what you want to eat for a sweet treat is way better than just telling yourself no and then binging later. And this kind of ties back to knowing yourself and what you want to do. I don't believe the sweet treat thing is a trend. It's just something you want to do, and I believe that you should be able to do whatever you want as long as it's not hurting anyone. Another propaganda I will be falling for is Addison Rae. I freaking love Addison Rae, and you know what? People were hating her back in the TikTok ages, and all those times I was a fan, honestly. She was my favorite out of the Hype House. I don't even know if she was in the Hype House, but she was my favorite out of the big 3, Addison Rae, Charli D'Amelio, and Dixie D'Amelio. She was my favorite even back then because I feel like she was doing things because she wanted to. She was doing things for fun. I know that she has a lot of controversial things that she's done in the past, but I believe that we're all human. I think she was just very young at the time. There are obviously things that she had grown up believing were true, but now that she's an adult, she has made her own decisions, and I think a lot of people are saying that she's performative. I think as an adult, Addison Rae is making a lot of choices that are more personal to her, and you can see it throughout the music and how personal it is to her, how different she is from her popular artists. I really like the direction she's going in, and I love her song Headphones. I support Addison Rae. I give her a big heart. Love her so much. I also love her style. I think it's so adventurous. I think her music, just the beats and everything, is just so different from what we've been hearing for a long time. Bring back fun pop. It doesn't have to be cookie cutter. Do your thing. Love, love, love Addison Rae. Kind of connected to Addison Rae, another propaganda I will be falling for is being cringe is equal to being free. I think we are too chained down by other people's opinions, and I feel like we're too chained down that we're scared to kind of embarrass ourselves and put ourselves out there. Just doing what you want to do and kind of being unapologetic in that way is so liberating. It's honestly amazing. And obviously I'm working on this because I'm a young woman in my 20s. I'm always influenced by what other people are perceiving me as. There are days when I literally could give less of a damn. I felt so free. There was no thoughts in my head. I literally was on cloud 9. And you know what? I think people who are constantly thinking about what other people are saying about them are just so miserable because they are also those type of people that are constantly speaking negatively about other people. It's a very hard cycle, but we must grow out of this. It's 2025. We need to learn to be more chill and open. Alright, this next one is completely unrelated to anything. I guess it's unrelated, but in some ways it is also connected. But my next propaganda that I will be falling for is a friend to all is a friend to none. Having a small, loyal friend group is so much better than just having a lot of people that have surface level relationships. I think this kind of goes with how these days it's hard to find genuine connection, and that's because we are overwhelmed with the amount of people that we need to have connection with. Just focusing on harboring and cultivating a loving relationship with a few people is so valuable and so important, especially in days where people crave intimacy, people crave connection, people crave community. Having those small group of people that you can constantly rely on is more valuable than having a group of people you have surface level connection with. Also, going back to a friend to all is a friend to none, I feel like someone who doesn't stand on their own beliefs and grounds and is constantly people pleasing to everyone else, it's just someone that you don't want to be with, because they're not going to be there to fight for you and defend you whenever you are being torn down, when you're not there to defend yourself. Having people to share beliefs with is very important. Kind of exhausting whenever you have a connection with someone and it's kind of one-sided, because they're more concerned with pleasing everyone else rather than just cultivating your relationship one-to-one. Alright, this is my last propaganda that I will be falling for, and to kind of end it off on a good note, I'm gonna be talking about BookTok. People are always so hard on women-centered fields, and BookTok is the new victim of this. For once, BookTok is a new trend that has had some sort of positive impact, because a lot more people are reading, first of all. And I do agree that quality content matters more than quantity. Reading, no matter what you're reading, always has some value to it, because one, you're reading, right? You're taking in information, but I also think that you are developing your own abilities, like being able to read faster, reading at a better pace, just being able to take in more. And I think finding hobbies outside of TikTok or just lowering your screen time is very valuable and very important. I'm also a person that believes that if you read one genre over another doesn't make you better. Just reading what you like and enjoying what you like is good enough. Why are we gatekeeping things? Starting off at any genre of books is better than reading no book. I'm certain that the most intellectual book talker have read books that aren't the most intellectual, but we all start somewhere. There's room to grow everywhere. I think the worst part of BookTok is when people are talking bad about other people's book preferences. I think we should just read whatever we want to read. Alright guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I'm kind of late to the trend, but I just wanted to hop on at the very end just to give my 2 cents in. Let me know if you agree with any of the things I talked about. Let me know if you have your own personal propaganda you will not be falling for and propaganda you will be falling for. I'll see you next week. Bye!